Early on in Mina the Hollower, I made a wonderful discovery. Deep in the swamp sits an inconspicuous shop. Nothing of terrible consequence can be purchased, though it is cute to watch the shopkeep climb up for your items. Thanks for doing that, my guy. Traveling behind the shop reveals a secret item that can only be obtained by moving the ladder over and climbing up the wall. It's the kind of secret I'd seen in so many games, fit with the neat detail of the shopkeep noticing you trying to do this and chucking you out of the shop. Then, I accidentally left the shop with the ladder. I wasn't really thinking about taking it with me. Most games wouldn't let me do that. Yet, there I was, holding the ladder above my head. At that moment, so many mysteries clicked into focus. Skulls floating too high for my meager jump. Seemingly inaccessible ledges littered everywhere. A wrecked ship off the south coast I couldn't reach. Suddenly, I had the solution to these questions that had been mounting since entering the swamp. I haven't been able to stop thinking about this ladder. Among the numerous ready-made comparisons you'll hear across the internet is the one I latched onto before release. This is a Zelda game. An easy comparison. It looks like Link's Awakening. It's what gets people in the door. Like their previous project, though, shoving Mina into the Zelda box doesn't really work. Its accents, like breakable walls and a top-down perspective, certainly evoke that spirit, but its free-form structure flies in the face of the series' typical conventions. I reached the end of a crypt and hit a wall. I didn't know how to progress. I was definitely in the right place, but I couldn't find the answer no matter how much I searched. Those comparisons to Zelda echoed in my ears, making me think I had simply missed a required item in another area. Instead of trying to figure it out then and there, I left to go look for a tool that would help. I did not find a hookshot. Instead, I found a ladder. Mina was asking me to be a little greedier than that. All that stood between me and the island's riches was my own intuition. Mina's treasures, then, are to be sought only by those who can't resist their pull. Its mandatory pathways require nothing. But every screen hides at least one mystery. Was I gonna leave it all unsolved? Miss out on another transcendent discovery? So, I dug into a grave and wandered through the tortured souls of the damned on a single hit point, just to see what the reward for it would be. I snapped the string on a kid's kite because it was vaguely trinket-shaped. I stole a ladder for the benefit of no one. They put that shit in the papers. I could feign benevolence. Those bones gave me crucial level-ups to raise my stats. How else am I gonna get strong enough to tackle those maddening boss fights? I needed those health and damage upgrades, those trinkets that would let me hit harder and faster. It's better in my hands anyway. Stealing from children was altruism all along. I reveled in the detours. I had no extraordinary impetus to repair the towers. Finding one was actually a tinge disappointing, since that meant I had surely missed several bonuses along the way. Was I really in any rush to fix these towers anyway? Have they done anything useful for anyone? Supposedly, I'm here to save lives. The towers are malfunctioning, so I've gotta fix them. It's a noble cause that will lead me through platforming death traps and harrowing boss fights, but the assumption is that it will benefit someone. Trouble is, the moment I stepped foot into Osex, spent a little bit of time investigating. The answer to the island's woes could not have been more clear. I solved it so instantly that I had to half-heartedly play along when the big twist came, as if the clues weren't flashing neon lights. A curiously hollow mystery for a game filled to bursting with them. This city was miserable. Nothing mysterious about that. I kept getting mugged in the streets, I wasn't allowed into the music hall, this shopkeeper kept yanking me into his shop. Someone here is hoarding keys that could help me fix his damn island, but I've got to pony up for him? One of its only joys is a clown that jump scares me to tell horrible jokes, but even he has this compulsion to pay me for putting up with his antics, as if that's the requirement for taking up even a few seconds of someone's time on this island. Everyone is out for themselves, off in their own little worlds. The evils of this island are laid bare to anyone not blinded by its trinkets. But who am I to judge? I was so entranced by these distractions that I did not question for even a moment whether it was a good idea to bring a moth to flame. I gave some bones to a homeless guy and kept coming back to talk to him just in case he'd eventually do something surprising in return. I gladly entombed a grieving widower so he could embrace his eternal rest. I mashed through his final words until there was no juice left to squeeze. That's it? Surely there's something more. If I came here with a new trinket or piece of knowledge, I could resurrect him or talk to his ghost. Hell, maybe I could come back and collect his bones once the skin had decomposed. This was not a husband I helped to reunite with his dead wife. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm not even 100% sure that this is the story of a husband reuniting with his dead wife. I didn't pay enough attention to his dialogue. To me, he was nothing more than a stepping stone. He was a ladder. I could not stop chasing ladders. I became a mad scientist, performing experiments to satiate my unquenchable curiosity. I happened upon a combination of trinkets that gave me total mastery over walls. I burrowed into them, then burrowed into them again, over and over, until I got wherever I wanted to be. Bottomless pits be damned. Mina became this set of reagents I'd throw together. I wasn't a big fan of using the daggers at first. Getting up close and personal wasn't working particularly well for me. It did get off a lot of hits, though, which gave me an idea. One trinket gave me a bubble shield after getting consecutive hits off, letting me easily get into a boss's face. Pairing that with the ability to throw my dagger for a speed boost would turn me into Sonic the Hedgehog, zipping across the arena. These discoveries are ladders too, I told myself. Even if I can't reach out and touch them, it isn't necessarily the physical items I'm after. It's the potential revelations, the trial and error of a boss fight that leads me to falling in love with a trinket or weapon I had overlooked. Picking up a stray sidearm I'd always given the side eye, only to discover a hidden application I'd never considered. There is an extent to which I am possessed by this demon. It was not a warm hand that guided the stranded frog back to his merry band. It was one attached to my coin purse. I found myself trying to get just a few more hits off on bosses for a little more healing juice, only to lose more than I started with and die because of it. I was in this headspace where I was convinced I could bash my head into any problem and break through to the inevitable answer, that glorious moment of euphoria. Dying didn't matter if I was sent right back to my hideout. I'll just swap around my trinkets and weapons until one of them solves it. I didn't have to worry about losing my bones. The island was loaded with them. I was already going above and beyond to find them all, circling back, triple-checking every tile to make sure nothing escaped my purview. Not even dying could retain its impact in the face of my curiosity. By the time I had reached its end, finishing the game felt like a formality. At this point, it was simply the wall between me and the future playthroughs I had dreamed up in my head. Its ending sequence amused me more than it moved me. In fact, that demon had convinced me that there must be another ending to find. That can't have been all there was. Surely if I flipped enough switches, added other ingredients, I'd unlock a better ending. It was simply one of many potential ladders. The paramountcy of an ending crumbles in the face of countless other possibilities. It's already in the rearview mirror. I'm thinking about a second playthrough where I beeline for the wall-digging mitts. How will that change my approach to other areas? Can I unlock the secrets of that seemingly unwieldy hammer? Dare I peek into its exhaustive list of modifiers? Reduce the number of checkpoints? Randomize the items? I'm staring at Mina like Gollum in the Ring. A cold, obsessive face stares back. Can this be a love that lasts? A love like I have for Shovel Knight? A game I haven't played in over a decade. A game whose surprises I did not have to hunt down. A game with an ending that allowed me a warm closure. Mina the Hollower is so much bigger than Shovel Knight. An embarrassment of riches with ladders as far as the eye can see. The irony is that I was trying to climb towards greater and greater epiphanies, rather than burrowing through the mountain of bones and letting its simpler moments shine. My first encounter with ice tiles was disastrous. I tried burrowing like I had anywhere else before, only for Mina to shoot off into a pit across the room. Instantly, the confidence I had built up burrowing for hours was thrown back at me like a practical joke. I couldn't help but laugh. I was pulled into some creature's lair deep underground. I braced myself for a boss fight, only for him to teach me how to dance. I never used that dance again, but the moment stuck. I wasn't searching for that moment. It happened to me. It was born of the things only Mina could make me feel. That's what the ladder was when I first discovered it. An awesome surprise that I couldn't wait to talk with friends about. An earnest expression of love for a brief minute of ecstasy. In another decade, will I remember the dozens of additional hours I'm about to sink into Mina, grasping desperately for more moments like this? What am I actually searching for? Will I ever find it in this frenzied state? Will I have left any bone unturned to appreciate in that distant future? What I remember most about Shovel Knight were the moments of respite, exploring the town, browsing the upgrades, visiting the funny fish dudes, and sitting at the campfire dreaming of saving his beloved Shield Knight. Who could want for more? I don't know if I like the player I become when I obsess over Mina's every detail. Mindless, selfish, ravenous. I don't know if I have the power to resist that call. Right now, I want nothing more than to dive back in. Too far gone. I want more. I only hope I can stop looking so feverishly for ladders and let them come to me instead. Odds are, if you're a Zelda fan, you've heard of Liam Triforce. A good friend of mine for many years, he writes incredible retrospectives on games and consoles alike. He's recently launched a new show about the creatives behind the Zelda games, titled Legends of Zelda. The latest episode is a deep dive into the many voices of Link over the years, a topic I've seldom seen discussed online. Before watching, I hadn't consciously realized just how many different actors had breathed life into our boy over the years. You can watch it exclusively on Nebula, a streaming service chock full of thoughtful shows. Liam and I both make exclusive content for the site in addition to our regular output, but it's also home to Jacob Geller, Lindsay Ellis, Game Maker's Toolkit, Rasputin, and many more creators you've likely watched. On top of that, the site's regularly producing incredible exclusive and original content like Abolish Everything, a comedy debate show where someone has to earnestly argue to abolish ridiculous things like iPhones and the number 5. Nebula's home to all sorts of shows like this, and creators are only able to pursue these passions thanks to the funding provided by those of you who decide to sign up and watch. It's the reason I was able to pursue my own show, Masterful Mimicry. You'll learn something new, and maybe laugh along the way. With my link, you can get 50% off Nebula. It's just $30 a year, $2.50 a month, or one payment of $300 lifetime. A $200 discount at go.nebula.tv/KingK. That's 40% off for access to Nebula for life. Use my link in the description to get 50% off in Nebula, and you'll be able to watch Liam's Legends of Zelda series.